Title's okay. Now let's test that first animation. Roll 2. Okay, hold it. Now sharpen the focus. Right. Hold roll 2.
Doctor, how is the sun born?
Don't know exactly.
You're a scientist and you don't know?
Could use my imagination, but you're the fiction writer.
Imagination? Well, we could ask Mr. Sun himself.
Yes, if we had a magic wand.
Sure, you've got it. Magic. Your science and my magic. We'll open up our story of our Mr. Sun with a little fantasy. You know, showmanship. Go back into time, show the birth of the sun, out of time, stardust. Here, we'll turn back the clock.
Ooh, that'll only take you back 12 hours.
Oh, well, all right. We'll open up the curtain of our imagination. This'll be our magic screen. Yours will be just for facts. We'll pull back the curtains of our magic screen. We'll dream up a clock.
The sun is not a god or a person. It is a mass of red-hot stone, only 40 miles across and 4,000 miles away.
Thinking began spreading like the measles. Everybody got the bug. The Greeks with their logic and philosophy. The Hindus with their algebra and your present number system. The Arabs with their early instruments like the astrolabe. And today, instead of temples, rituals, and hymns to the sun, it's domes, gadgets, charts, and numbers. I'm demoted to a specimen, a pile of facts and figures. A big blob of mass holding little blobs of mass together with gravity. I think you're all through.
Who's all through?
Earthman, he's had it.
Why, you flaming idiot, they haven't even started yet.
In worshiping me, ancient man was reaching for the great light beyond. But modern man, he's got all the answers.
Well, maybe some believe they have the answers, but others of us have a mind of our own, as we all know and are aware of, and with big thanks going out, of course, to all of our social conditioning classes that we have so kindly been instilled with, we know that the sun that is above us is approximately 93 million miles away. Now, to put that into perspective, a commercial airplane flies at approximately 35,000 feet, give or take, this being in the proximity of around 6.5 miles. When you subtract the airplane's altitude from the given distance of the sun, you are left with a numerical difference of 92,993.5 miles. Now that's quite a distance, isn't it? So let me ask you this. How is it that most people can take out an iPhone, a camcorder, any type of recording device, and actually zoom in and make a difference all the way to the surface of the sun, or the moon, or the stars, and literally see the surface and the detailing on it? Now, if this hasn't left you scratching your head, please keep in mind that the very best camcorder or video recording device that they make, such as and along the lines of a Nikon P1000, is good for approximately 40 miles. And the very best video recording device that they make can record approximately in detail around 70 miles. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 70 miles is a long ways, but 93 million miles away, the given distance of our sun, is a heck of a lot more miles away. And I'm sorry, but I just don't see how this could even make a difference. Especially when I myself have taken my own video camera out there, which is a Sony 4K Handycam. But I can also take that camera and record all the way to the moon, the surface of the moon, and clearly see it, or the sun, and see all the sunspots on it, or see stars up close and personal with strange beings clinging to them. Or better yet, take a commercial airline flight, looking up, down, and all around while videoing, and you can see the lies. Think I'm lying? No, I have all the evidence to prove it, but I'm not asking for approval. I'm telling you like it is. Maybe it's actually time to ask ourselves the question, do we truly believe what we've been taught, or should I say conditioned to believe? I mean, using our own heads is something new, I know, but maybe we should try it. I mean, take a look. Look what this guy captured. No, this video is not my own footage. I could never hold that steady, but I would say this is some pretty incriminating evidence right here. Something that we've been told is impossible, but somehow, I think we've been lied to. By the way, I'd like to add that if you climb Mount Everest without the proper attire, you'll freeze. But down here, you'll burn. Go figure. But hold on to your belt buckles, my friends, because it gets better, and you ain't seen nothing yet. So pull up your boots and hold on to your spurs, because here we go. This, my friends, is another Southwest Airlines flight that I took, departing out of Eugene, Oregon, and on my way back, traveling home to Houston, Texas. As you can see, this is a heavily contrasted image, and I did so to enhance the viewing abilities and to show detailing. And now that we've established that, our flight departed at approximately 4 p.m., and that, of course, would be Pacific time. The first portion of the flight, the sun almost appeared to be right beside me. But about an hour later, I looked over, and to my surprise, but not really, there it was, plain as day, the sun sinking into the atmospheric clouds as I flew above it, and you could see the horizon directly on the other side. Yep, there it was, and there it sat, in all of its grandeur and all of its 93 million miles away. Except for, well, kinda not. Not at all. I was above the sun at 35,000 feet in a commercial airliner. You do the math. And you know, this really has me thinking, there sure might be something to that flat earth theory. I mean, look, just look out at that horizon and tell me what you see. Looks pretty flat to me. I'm not seeing much for curvature going on at all there. Not at all. And I know how this goes. There's going to be some of you out there, the debunkers, because that's what you know to do, going to do your very best to try to prove this wrong or prove it in a theory that makes sense to you because, well, you know, you learned about science. And I'm here to tell you right here and right now that your science doesn't apply here. In fact, it doesn't apply anymore at all. And I don't know that it ever did, because you or I or nobody ever had the right to say what is and what isn't, but what we did have the right to use was our eyes and our ears. But especially that brain that we have right between those ears that God gave us to think with. And somehow we found ourselves lazy and lacking in the use of it because we've let someone else do the thinking for us. Some of us have now broken free of those chains, and they will never bind us again. And their lies will never control us again. And there are more of us than there are of them. And just so we're clear, I've never been part of the sheep, not even the black sheep. I'm a wolf, walking against the grain. I'm in the fight, and you can count on it. After all, please remember, it's your body, your mind, your heart, and ultimately your soul. They don't have any right to tell you what to do with that. Take back your life. Take it back. I know many of you have realized that the world has drastically changed. Everything that we grew up knowing about the world, or what we were taught, all seemingly lies. What I'd like to say right here and right now is that we all know that every moment in our lives can affect us in different ways. Now I find myself just trying to understand. All we were asked to do is just trust. Trust in the system. Trust in the indoctrination handed down from generation to generation. My fellow Americans, I just want you to know that I'm in the fight. And I'm not just fighting for one thing. I'm fighting for everything. And most of all, I'm fighting for our lives. So my fellow Americans, hear me loud and clear. I fight for your fellow, my fellow, every other little fellow, big fellow, small fellow, every type of fellow. I do it for the fellows with no vision they can see. Every other fellow that may come after me. Don't you see? I do it for all fellows. My fellow Americans, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Stand with me. lovers of money, lovers of self, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful and holy without love, unforgiving, slanderous without self-control, brutal, not lovers of good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God himself, while denying his power. Truth, truth, it'll set you free, it'll set you free. Once upon a time, there lived a Cinderella, and with ashes on her dress, she stood for every fella. I'd become a target with a bullseye on my back because I wouldn't do this and I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't roll my sleeve up just to get the stupid facts. Due to everything that's in it and for nothing that it lacks. My fellow Americans, reverse the target.